Video games can be a lot of fun. Hey everybody, I'm Fox with RealMarcFoxx, and I'm your vanguard, the gaming, grifting, and goonie brigade. Welcome to another video. Today, I wanted to talk about how we can keep games fun and how you can continue to enjoy games despite all the drama and negativity that this hobby seems to be surrounded by as of late. Let's get into it.
Oh yeah, baby!
The impetus for this video actually was a recent game I picked up on sale. It's called Greedfall. It's not a new game by any means, came out I think a couple years back, but I remember some people talking about really liking it, although it didn't get the best scores. This made me realize something. Just because a game is not highly rated and doesn't get a ton of talk on social media and YouTube, doesn't mean that you won't enjoy it. Now granted, you may play it and find it's just as middling and mediocre as people claim, or in this case, for me, I found that I'm really enjoying Greedfall so far. It has just enough of that sort of AA jank as to make it quite different from a lot of other things we find today. Sometimes these AAA games can be quite polished in their mechanics, despite the fact that they often don't perform terribly well, particularly on Unreal Engine 5, but when you get a game that is just so polished, even to a negative degree, it just feels very similar to a lot of other games of its type. They begin to all feel like kind of the same game, just in a slightly different setting with a different coat of paint. Greedfall not only looks a bit different, but it also plays very differently from a lot of other games that look similar to it. The combat isn't perfect, and like I said, there is some jank in the combat and the movement in the game, but it's not enough to really impact my enjoyment of it, and in fact, I'm going to claim it's making me enjoy it more, because it feels like something they really put their hearts into. Like there's a lot of soul and heart put into how they designed this game. They didn't just look at other games and decide, oh hey, look, we're gonna do that, but we're gonna do it our own way. No, they kind of did their own thing, and it works for the most part. I can see people giving this lower scores, maybe in the middling range or even a bit lower than that, but I think those people are missing the point. Sometimes we want a game like this that isn't AAA, it isn't completely super polished, it doesn't feel like most of the other games, and it may not have the most fluid combat. And because of that, it offers something different. Like I said, jank doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. Sometimes just a little bit of jank can make a game feel kind of fun and quirky and interesting because it's just a different feel from a lot of other games we've played. In addition to that, I've been playing some games that do get a lot of criticism, particularly by those who consider themselves more hardcore gamers. And that, of course, is the gacha game genre. I really do enjoy Snowbreak Containment Zone, despite the fact that it's often way too easy. But, you know, it's easy to criticize a game like this as being a cash grab gacha game, and in some ways it is. But if you just want to play it for what it is, you don't need to spend any money. You don't have to spend any money at all. You can get most of the enjoyment out of this game, I would say really 95%, by spending nothing. Ultimately, a lot of times the only reason to spend money is really to get the character that you like the look of. And in the case of Snowbreak Containment Zone, that may be a character in a particularly skimpy outfit or purchasing a particularly skimpy outfit for one of the girls you want to play as. I've also played Wuthering Waves, Genshin Impact a little bit, and even Honkai Star Rail. They all offer something a bit different, and while it would be easy to just accuse these games of being simple cash grabs, another gacha with an anime theme, they all offer something a little bit different, and there's lots of fun to be had here if you're willing to have it. These don't necessarily have to be the games you play, you could pick whatever you wanted. Perhaps you could go with something a bit different, like the recent game I picked up, Pal World. I'm sure a lot of you have already been playing it, and I generally don't like base building or crafting, but I said, you know what, so many people have talked about this game, I really should go ahead and purchase it, if for no other reason than to tick off Nintendo, the gaming company that I consider to be the worst of them all. I also enjoy playing a lot of game demos, and there are a ton on Steam. If you're low on cash or just don't want to spend a lot of money on games right now, get on Steam, if you're on PC of course, and take a look at the demos section. There's a ton of stuff in here. Played the demo of Trails in the Sky first chapter and was actually surprised how fun the combat and gameplay is. I find the story and characters a bit lacking, but maybe it picks up as you play it more. the demo offers a lot of gameplay time. And in the same way, Tales of Arise has a pretty good demo as well. It's in the same boat as Trails for me. The story, the voice acting, the characters just are not gripping me in any way, shape, or form, but I do enjoy the unique spin they put on JRPG combat. Along the same vein, I tried out Visions of Mana, and pretty much the same exact story there. Really enjoyed exploring the combat and the gameplay, but the story and characters, not so much. I am a big fan of cel-shaded graphics, so that may be one of the things attracting me to it. I also tried out the Quartet RPG demo, which is more of a old school pixel art JRPG, and while it didn't grip me right away, a ton of people say that they've played it and enjoy it. There is a demo for you to try out if you'd like. So the purpose of this video is to say that just because other people don't like a game, or just because other people are stirring up drama over the game, doesn't mean you have to avoid it. Now granted, if you have values and you want to stick by those values, as I do, then there are some games you're going to want to give a pass to. Even though I absolutely loved Ghost of Tsushima, I decided that Ghost of Yotei was a ghost of no way for me, because I just can't support the studio and the decisions that they made. I think it's an absolute affront to gamers everywhere that they selected Erika Ishii to be the face and voice of the protagonist. So on that one, I'm going to give it a hard pass. Some people on X have told me that I'm missing out, but you know what? There are so many games I need to play. There are so many unplayed games in my Steam library, as in almost 570 at this point, that the last thing I need is just one more game to play, especially if I have to pay $70 for it, and it sort of violates some of my own personal ethics and morality. When it comes to deciding what game to pick up, it's really easy to look at the reviews on Steam or on the PlayStation storefront, Xbox, or the Nintendo if you still are buying and playing Nintendo, which I wish you weren't, because I really do feel like they are the most evil, vile game company in the world, and I will do a video about that, laying out my case. But regardless, you may look at the reviews on Metacritic or OpenCritic, or you may even go to one of those legacy lamestream games journalism websites like IGN or the like, and look at something and say, oh, you know what, that's a 7 out of 10, maybe I'll give that a pass, or oh, they gave this a 6 out of 10, maybe I won't like this. But I would encourage you to look a bit deeper than just the headline. I would encourage you to look beyond the score or the first line or paragraph in that review, and really consider whether you think you might like the game based on gameplay you've seen in the trailer, based on gameplay videos you see on YouTube. Find a YouTuber who tends to like games that you like and see what they have to say about it. I was playing a game the other day called Strenova, and just looking at it and hearing about it, I wouldn't think I would normally enjoy it all that much, but I gave it a shot when someone I knew online insisted that I do, and it's actually pretty fun. I was super good at it too. I was winning all the matches, getting a really high score, which made me question whether I was fighting a bunch of bots who were set on low difficulty. I don't know, I think they were real people, but they may have also been playing on mobile or tablet, which would explain why I was so good compared to them playing on my mouse and keyboard. The honest truth is, there are a lot of games that come out that are pretty lackluster, they're middling, they just don't live up to the hype, and believe it or not, a lot of them are AAA games, in which tens or even hundreds of millions of dollars were spent on them. And this is teaching us something very important. It's not just indie titles that we need to look to, but titles from the past, titles that maybe you have lying around that you gave a shot and gave up on, and maybe you should try again. Or look at titles from 5 to 10 years ago that you just didn't get around to back then. Maybe pick one of them up on sale and see if you like it. And for those that don't know, if you're on Steam, you've got a 2-hour playtime window in which to return the game. A perfect example is that I finally got around to playing Tunic, and I ended up picking up a copy on Steam, even though I have, free access to it on the Xbox Game Pass app on my PC. And I actually do enjoy it. It's a little more difficult than I anticipated, and it doesn't quite give me the level of control I'd like, but it's a fun game, it's unique, it's got a very different and novel art style, and I could see why so many people enjoyed it at the time. But if you're like me, you just do not have time to play every game that comes out that looks interesting, so you might try to limit yourself to the ones that look the most interesting, maybe ones that are a bit cheaper, or maybe the ones that your friends are into if they have online cooperative play. Whatever games you ultimately choose to play, give them a real shot. Give them a little bit of time to see if they grow on you. Now, ultimately, if you've been playing it for 2, 3, or 4 hours and you really don't like it, then you probably won't like the rest of it. I am a firm believer that a game should not require a substantial hours-long investment before it starts to get good. Some people out here will say, oh, the game really starts to get good at the 10-hour mark or the 15-hour mark. Well, you know what? I want the game to be good at the 0-hour mark, like right away. I want to be hooked from the beginning. It doesn't have to blow me away. It doesn't have to be the most amazing thing in the world right off the bat, but it should get into the fun part pretty quickly. Another game that got a lot of hype and then ultimately landed like a wet fart was Lost Soul Aside. I did try the demo and it was pretty interesting. I can see why a lot of people would be disappointed in it. Wasn't quite what I was looking for, more of a Devil May Cry style combat system than a Souls-like or Stellar Blade system, but I think a lot of people are playing it and enjoying it. So maybe it really comes down to you finding the types of games that you enjoy and then setting aside some time to just play them and enjoy them. No matter what other people think, no matter what scores were given to it by the professional games reviewers, and sometimes no matter what drama erupts around it. I played and enjoyed Stellar Blade, absolutely loved it, and it didn't matter to me how many people hated it because the protagonist was attractive. Sometimes you just gotta focus on the game itself and enjoy it for what it is, because that's what gaming is all about. If you're not enjoying this anymore, doesn't mean you have to give it up. Maybe you should give it up and move on to a different hobby. I'm not saying everybody has to keep gaming for the rest of their lives, but if you feel like you want to keep gaming but are not enjoying it as much as you used to, then maybe take a step back from all the drama. Maybe take a few days off from social media. Maybe stop watching all the YouTube videos where there's constant, never-ending negativity about everything, and just sit down and focus on playing a game. Just you in the game. You, the controller or the mouse and keyboard in the video game, and play it and enjoy it for what it is. Get back to the olden days. So the moral of the story here is focus on enjoying games, not just the controversy surrounding them. And it's okay to like a game that other people don't like. It's okay to like a game that's imperfect. It's even okay to like a game that honestly, isn't all that great, but for whatever reason, you just enjoy playing it. And on the flip side of that coin, it's also okay to hate a game that everyone else seems to love. And it's okay to express online and in YouTube videos on social media why you don't like it as much as other people. Obviously, try not to be too nasty to them if they like it, because maybe they like it for entirely different reasons than why you hate it. But at the end of the day, if you're not enjoying this hobby, maybe you should take a step back and look at it from a fresh perspective. Thank you so much for joining me for another video, trying to get some additional positive content out, not always negativity, because as we all know, the gaming space can be full of a lot of negativity, and that stuff tends to spread far and wide in the algorithms on social media and on YouTube. There's a Patreon link down in the description if you'd like to support me directly. You can join the channel here for as little as $1.99. But if you just want to support me at no additional cost to you, then like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment. Leaving comments is super important. I'd like to thank our Patreon supporter, Freeman Phil. Awesome guy. If you want to join him, again, link is down there in the description. Thank you to everyone that joined me again today. And as always, my friends, keep gaming, keep grifting, and keep gooning. RealMarcFoxx out.